Hello everyone, I'm MiniFC and this is Blue Lions TV, and today I'm bringing you guys another Predict That 11 video for our upcoming game against Swansea tomorrow. And starting with the formation, well, I've been contemplating whether Conte is going to continue with a 3-5-2, which me personally feels the best thing to do because it's good to get that consistency in the team. But I do feel that Conte will use a 3-4-3 for the upcoming game to utilise the rest of the options within the squads. Now, before I get into the video, as I always say, please, if you haven't pressed the bell notification sign, please press that. It's right beside the subscription tab. It will take you less than half a second. Press that and stay notified to every video that I'm going to be releasing. Now, getting straight into the video, starting with the goalkeeper, and yes, Courtois will be playing. Now, in my opinion, the game against Liverpool, Courtois really wasn't tested at all, and in that game I really did feel that we did have a lot of control. But with Courtois, it looks like he has his contract negotiations ongoing with the club, and if it's to be reported, it seems that Chelsea aren't going to wait until the season ends for Courtois to renew his contract, so it is going to be pretty interesting to see what's going to develop with this situation. In my personal opinion, I feel that we need to pay whatever money for Courtois because a keeper of his ability, one of the top elite keepers in the world, is very rare to have. And I definitely think it would be the wrong move by Chelsea to let Courtois leave. Moving on to the back three, starting with the right hand side, and yes, Azpilicueta will be playing. Azpilicueta is the personification of Conte on the pitch. They share the same type of winning mentality and the same type of pragmatic approach in their football style and their football thinking. A lot of the players have said that if anyone wants to become a manager from the Chelsea squad, it would be Azpilicueta, which comes to no surprise by me, and I can kind of tell what type of manager he would be if he was to become a manager in football. Azpilicueta put in a top class performance against Liverpool, his best performance of the season, and it's good that Azpi is back on form now because during pre-season and the first month or two of the season I felt that he was below his high standards, and it's good to know that he's got back into top form and we're seeing some top class performances. Moving on to the middle of the back three, and I do see Christensen regaining his place in the team, and I have to say I do feel that he is getting patronised in a way. We have to realise that this guy is an international. He has played in the Champions League, he has more experience in the Champions League compared to Drinkwater, for example, and we have to realise as well too that he's played a lot of high level football in the Bundesliga, and he's played against a lot of top class oppositions in your Bayern Munich's and your Man City. So I do feel that seeing these types of performances are standard. In my opinion, I don't think he's really had a standout performance, but that really lets you know his top class ability, which is very rare. Moving on to the left hand side of the back three, and I do see Rudiger playing in this game, as I feel that Conte will start to rotate the squad a bit, and I feel that Rudiger obviously needs some game time, and Conte sees Rudiger as an option for the left hand side. And I think with Rudiger, again, I've spoken about his weaknesses, even though his strengths are his passing, his trademark dipping cross, his trademarks are his pace, but again, his tackling and the amount of fouls he gives away really needs to be improved on. I think as he gets used to the tempo of the Premier League, he will definitely get better in that regards. Again, he's only 24 years old, so really judge him when he's 26. Now moving on to the wing backs, and finally I do expect Victor Moses to start on the right hand side, and we really have missed Victor Moses. Now in my opinion, I thought Zappacosta was very poor against Liverpool. He kept losing the ball in possession, losing the ball in the final third. Most of his crosses weren't really on target, and his positioning when it came to defending wasn't there. Now the beautiful thing with having Moses coming back is that unbelievable partnership on the right hand side with him and Azpilicueta. It's one of the best defensive partnerships I've ever seen at the club, and I mean it, it really is. Nothing was coming down that right hand side. They were impenetrable, the understanding with each other was amazing, and they worked in tandem and really complemented each other, so it's going to be great to have Moses back. Moving on to the left hand side, and looks like Alonso will be playing, and I really feel with Alonso, his fatigue is really getting to him. I wish that Conte did start to use Kennedy a bit more. I know that Kennedy's out injured at this moment in time, so that's not really helping at all. I wouldn't even mind seeing a tactical change and even moving Azpi to the left hand side and playing Moses on the right, or even moving Moses to the left hand side, because we have seen Conte use Moses there, especially throughout pre-season, and Moses has played on the left hand side throughout his career, so really it's not too hard to imagine him fulfilling that role. Now moving on to the midfield too, starting with that main man N'Golo Kante, and really the whole reason for our fantastic form is that Kante is back, and Kante really does complement the team with his defensive ability and his abilities on the ball when we are in possession. And I feel that with Kante, really, that's given new life to Cesc Fabregas, because now he has freedom. Now he isn't given that defensive responsibility as much anymore, and we're really starting to see Cesc really spray those passes and link the midfield to the attack. And this segues nicely into who Kante's partner will be. Of course, Cesc Fabregas will be playing. I really feel that those two really do complement each other, and I'm always stressing players complementing each other's strengths and weaknesses, and I really feel that's the foundations of how you build a fantastic first 11. And I really feel that with Fabregas having that defensive support behind him, and you know, we got to get over this myth that Fabregas is a defensive liability. He isn't. His positioning is always there. Yeah, he might not win his duels, but when it comes to defensive positioning, he is in those positions, and I really feel that these two work fantastically well together. Now moving on to the front three, starting with the man in form, Willian. I do see Conte starting Willian on the right hand side, and honestly sometimes, you know, we have to admit Willian has been on some bad form recently. I can't say, and I'm not going to agree, that he's been in bad form since the day we signed him, which is definitely not true. It's natural for players to lose their confidence when they are in bad form. I really feel that Willian has needed some of the luck that's been coming to him recently. We've seen it all the time in football, and I really feel that it's going to be a great test to really see how far Willian's come in terms of his form this season. You know, his drive, his ability to link up plays be much better. He hasn't been losing the ball as much, and he's been much better when he's been in possession. So I really feel that this is going to be a good way to really test Willian. So I'm expecting another decent performance from him. Moving on to the left hand side, and yes, that main man, the best player in the league, Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard got a lot of praise, especially in that first half against Liverpool, and it was quite telling to see some of the things he was saying. He stated that the reason why he was dribbling at Liverpool the entire time was because really it was his only option. He was saying that with Drinkwater in the team, naturally he's a bit more defensive compared to Cesc Fabregas, and really it was just him and Morata that had to do everything. So it is quite telling, and it really linked into a point I'm always stressing, and I feel at Chelsea we don't dominate as much defensively as we should be doing, and of course that does come down to the manager. I felt we gave them way too much respect, especially when they weren't playing Firmino or Mane, and it was no surprise to me that when we did get back into the game, that was when we had Fabregas, Pedro and Willian playing, and no surprise we were attacking and dominating the ball, and it shows that we can do that. And I just feel that maybe Conte should just take the shackles off from the team and let them really play their football, because we possess a lot of top class players at the club. It was another bipolar performance, because I really thought that Hazard and Morata would link up more, but really they couldn't, because they were really far apart all the time, and that was because the flanks weren't really being utilised as much, and really we do need those wing backs to be effective out wide, because then Hazard and Morata can play close together, and we weren't seeing that enough. And I really felt that Conte was a bit too pragmatic, a bit unnecessarily pragmatic. It was no surprise when Fabregas came on, you know, the glue that really links up the midfield and the attack. That was when we started to get back into the game. So I really feel that Conte needs to start having more faith in the squad and really start being a bit more braver with his tactical selections and decisions. Moving on to the final player, Morata will be playing, and as I said, Morata didn't get any service throughout that game. Him and Hazard didn't link up effectively, as they were really forced wide because there was no support around them. And I really feel that if you want to get the best out of these two, you have to push the wing backs up, you have to play Fabregas, you have to play attacking football. I don't understand, we have a back three and Kante who really destroys counter-attacks by himself. That's more than enough defensive solidity at the back. You don't need any more. Most teams that were getting exposed by Liverpool played 4 at the back, and the back 2 were getting exposed. We've got a back 3 and Kante sitting deeper, so really that's the foundation in my opinion to really push on, attack and go for it. I know a few fans have been a bit frustrated with Alvaro Morata, but we have to remember it's his first time being a first choice striker, and he's 25 years old, so it lets you know the amount of experience he's really been missing out on. So it's no surprise why maybe he isn't necessarily 100% confident in front of goal, and that's why he needs a lot of opportunities on goal before he gets his chance. That's the team I expect Conte to use for the game against Swansea tomorrow night, but I'm going to show you guys my team now. There's only a few changes. I have gone for Moses on the left and Bakayoko on the right hand side, as I feel that Alonso really needs a rest now. His form isn't there, and we have to understand when you are tired, it doesn't just affect the body, but it affects the mind as well. And I feel that Alonso definitely has had some mental fatigue, and I feel that he does need a rest. And I think that Moses can easily play on the left hand side. I think that with his driving runs, his potential link up with Hazard, with that space being afforded him on the left hand side, would really unlock something. And I'd like to see Conte try and be brave and try that. I've gone for Bakayoko on the right hand side, because even though he is quite limited in his abilities, I feel that with the few things he does possess, his attributes do complement the team, especially as we will be playing a Swansea team that will be defending deep. And for my final choice, I have gone for David Luiz over Gary Cahill. Now in my opinion, I really feel that this needs to happen. Luiz is comfortable defending out wide and pushing out wide. He does have a left foot. His ability to spray passes can really help with our attack, especially when we are going to be playing against low block defensive teams in Swansea. With Luiz in the team, it does take away some of the creative burden put on Cesc Fabregas. And my final reason is I think it will help Christensen, because Christensen is still young, even though he's very accomplished, and I feel that David Luiz can teach him. Similar to how Desailly did teach Terry, and similar to how Terry did teach future Chelsea defenders. Anyway you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please smash that like button. I want to try and get 200 likes for this video. I really want to know how many people watch right to the end. But anyway, again, please press the bell notification sign if you haven't. I'm the NEFC. This is Blue Lions TV, signing out.